Welcome back, my friends, to your channel. Today, we are going to talk about DNS. We are going to see how to install DNS, and we are going to see some features of DNS and how to take advantage of these features. But please, before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So first of all, what is a DNS? So DNS, or a domain name system, is a universal recognized mechanism that is used to help users reach web contents, all the pages and the contents on the web. This is done by translating the name of the web pages that is usually used by a human being into an IP address that is recognized by the computer. Computers doesn't understand a human language. They understand only numbers, which is the IP addresses of the web pages. They talk with each others through IP addresses, and they go from one network to another by routing. While human beings don't really memorize numbers as well. So humans use their language to reach certain websites. For example, if a certain human want to reach www.example.com or google.com or youtube.com, this is something recognized by a person, but for a computer, as it is a machine, this means nothing. Here, where the DNS comes along, that when a human asks to reach a certain page, for example, example.com or google.com, the request from this computer machine will go to the DNS server. This DNS server will translate the name that the person recognize or the person want to reach into an IP address, as you can see in the image. Example.com is translated from the DNS server into a certain IP, and then this computer or the browser will request this IP address, will request to reach this IP address on the web, and thus it will get back the required information. The browser may not or cannot actually go directly from asking a certain name into the web browser, because this is not recognized on the machine. The machine only understands numbers. So the DNS will reply with an IP address, which will get requested by the client or the browser into the website, and then get back the needed data. In order to fasten the process of the DNS request, we usually install a local DNS server on the company. This local DNS server will reply to the clients with the requested domains. In case the local DNS server doesn't have the IP of the requested domain, then it will go and ask the public IP, the public DNS server for the IP. Then it will cache the reply on its own memory for other clients to request it. Now, one important thing, that the caching of this IP address usually stays for 24 hours only, because in the other day the local DNS will go and ask the public DNS to check if the requested domain still have the same IP address, or this IP address or its IP address has changed for any reason. Similarly, the client computer itself caches the requested DNS domains in its memory, and it will ask again its DNS server, its local DNS server, for any changes within 24 hours. Now, if you know, you are sure that the IP address of the domain that you are requesting has changed, and you don't want to wait for 24 hours for your DNS for your computer to start asking your DNS again, you may go and open your CMD as administrator, and then type ipconfig flush DNS, as you may see in the image. This will flush your DNS caching in your client computer, and thus you any requested domain from this point will go and ask the DNS server for the IPs again. It will not consider the cache anymore. One important point that not most of the users know is that there is a file called hosts inside your Windows computer, Windows client. This hosts file usually hold the first DNS request. If you go to and open it through Notepad, as you may see its path in the System32 drivers etc. If you open this file using Notepad, you will find that this file will hold the first DNS request. For example, if I put in this file 0.0.0.0 as facebook.com, then if I go to my web browser and ask for facebook.com, it will directly give me the IP address 0.0.0.0 without asking any other DNS. This will not, of course, open the requested page. And this hosts file will not be cleared if we we flush our DNS. So this hosts file is the first file for asking for the DNS reply. In order to be able to change the data in the host file and save it, you have to open your CMD as administrator and then type notepad hosts. This will open your hosts file in a notepad, and then you may save your changes. Now, in order to install a local DNS, you'll install a Windows server, and then go to add roles and features, and you will follow the steps in order to add the role, which is a DNS server role. Once this DNS role server role is added, you will have a local DNS server installed, and then you will have to configure it. So after installing the DNS server role, you will go to start and type DNS. You will find that you have the DNS ready. You will open it, and then you will be able to see your DNS zones, and you will be able to configure the DNS. In order to start with this, you'll go to right-click properties on the DNS server, and the first thing to do is to configure the forwarder. Forwarders mean the external DNS server that your local DNS server will ask in case it doesn't have the IP address requested, or in case it wants to renew or to check if the IP has changed or not. Now, as you may see inside your forwarder zone in your DNS, you will find all the local registered clients. And now there are two main things that we have here. We have the host A or the CNAME. Host A is if I want to add a local server for in my local network, for example, into this DNS. As you may see, some of the names that we have here have a static IP. So this means that I added directly this computer or this server or this name and give it this IP. So if I request from any client this name, it will reply with this IP address. So as you may see, if I want to make a new host it will ask me to put the name and the specific IP address. Now, the other thing to do here is that we may add something called CNAME. The CNAME is we put a specific DNS name, specific domain name, but instead of adding an IP address as in the host A, we will add another name, another DNS name. So where is the use of the CNAME? Usually if I, let's say, make a web server and I name it, for example, web1 dot mydomain.com, then and I install the web page inside it. I don't want users to go and open web1.mydomain.com. Instead, I want them to open, for example, let's say local.mydomain.com. So in this case, I will go and add a CNAME, which names is local, and this CNAME will go and check for the web1.mydomain.com. Why I didn't add an A host? Because if for any reason I changed the IP of my web server, I will not have to go and change all the CNAMEs that are requested for the web pages inside this domain, inside this server. Instead, I will only change the IP of my web server, and thus all the CNAMEs that are requesting this web server will change automatically. Okay, my friends, this will be all about DNS as a brief. We will check other features of the DNS in the videos to come, and we will see how to take full advantage of the DNS server and its features. So, but please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos to come.